Welcome to the show. Today's episode is proudly sponsored by Grow Generation, where the pros go to grow. More on them in a bit. And I think we're good to go. We're live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Daily Cup of Genre. Today with Kyle and Manny, as always, because that's what it's supposed to be, right?
Yeah, you don't need anyone else in your life, especially this early.
No, oh God, no, no one else in your life. We are here to bring you entertainment news, opinions, reactions, wonderful things like that, and let's talk a little spoiler free about Loki episode 3 because it seems to be a really divisive episode, man. Like, people are either really loving this one or they're like, it's the most boring thing Marvel's put on Disney Plus yet. What'd you think of it?
I thought it was a croissant when you're supposed to get like a chocolate filled croissant and there's just air in it.
Oh God.
And a little bit of chocolate.
Oh, that's a rough way to put it. Okay.
Yeah,
without spoiling, what made you feel that way?
It's a filler episode. There was not. I didn't necessarily learn anything about the characters and their relationship being built to actually say that. I was really satisfied with whatever they do together next, and then also just some of the like the encounters that they had were really random, and just kind of felt out of place. I know that they're kind of jumping, time traveling, and whatnot, but it was like if you just showed somebody this episode, you have no idea what's going on.
Yeah,
not even close.
I didn't necessarily think there was no character growth. I love the moments on the train, the conversations, the festivities. I like those moments. I actually thought they built quite a bit of character. There was one moment on the train, though. Nick thinks it was more of the female variant egging the male variant on. I think Disney tried a little too hard with a certain line that she had, and then she almost had like straight up like eyebrow raising moments, like, "Hey, is it this? Is it this?" And I was like, in today's day and age, that type of question or that type of information is kind of like saying the sky is blue for society in general. Now, yeah, individuals, small groups, other places are different, but like in the West, what she gets into is pretty much like water's wet for society. You know what I'm saying? So I was kind of annoyed by that, but I really enjoyed seeing someone. I think we're gonna kind of get a story of denying your inner self in a way, because there's almost like this wall between her and Loki. She says, don't call me that in last episode and things, and this conversation, both of them start diving deeper into each other's backgrounds, which I will say they should have done more of, and they probably will next episode. But I did kind of want to hear a lot more about her background. You know what I'm saying? What was her Asgard like? Yeah,
maybe a flashback, or I mean, we might still get that.
Yeah,
but
what'd you think of the? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say one of my biggest things has been like, I want Frigga to be a huge part of this show, and so far she kind of has been, even though Renee Russo hasn't shown up. I think that'd be an awesome secret cameo, but new footage. I mean, not reused. And I wanted to know what you've thought about that character's use, and that kind of goes into the idea of the female variant. When they speak about her mother, like Frigga and the mom and the mother-child relationship, like what do you think about that in this? Is it being explored enough? Did you care to see that explored?
Well, it just depends on where we're going with the story. Is it really relevant? what's what's the end game here? Because I feel like when it came to some of the information about their backgrounds, they kind of really just dumped it out real quick. Like, oh yeah, I was this was my experience. Haha, I almost gave a spoiler. This was my experience, and then versus, oh, this was my experience, and this is what happened to me. This is what happened to me. All right, cool, we're done. Let's move on and keep going. So I wonder if it was just added for flavor as part of this filler episode, which is really what I think it was. And so I don't feel like it's going to necessarily play too much of a role going forward. They just wanted to get it out there and get it done. I mean, it'd be cool if it did, just because of how important it has. Their past has been for both Thor and Loki. We've seen Thor go back in time and really find himself again through his mom. Yep. And then you find out that for the variant, she had a different experience than Loki did. And as far as her identity from early on in her age, something that really struck Loki kind of deep when he found out. So
for real, talk about some mind fucks.
Right. So I wonder, there'll be a lot to say after the 4th episode, I think.
Yeah. My biggest complaint, and man, I just spit all over the damn microphone. My biggest issue this episode was editing. While I think there were a lot of segments that some people might not like that I did, there was definitely some editing issues, and you can tell, like, when at the end when they're running around, there's some guards that attack them, and you're not really sure why the guards attacked them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
it was really weird.
Out of place moment where you're like, did you guys film something else? Like, what happened in the editing room here, people? Or where was the script supervisor? Like, someone dropped their notes somewhere, and that was the worst part to me. I will say that is kind of interesting how almost every episode has had one moment that's just like, why'd you do that? You know, you think of the 80s music in the first episode. I can't remember what I pointed out last episode. It was almost a perfect episode, but there was one thing, and I'm trying to remember what it was. It was something Hiddleston did, but it just took you out for a second. And here, if we only got 3 episodes left, it's I don't know. Is it just me, or does this feel like it's moving faster than Falcon and Winter Soldier did?
No, I feel like it's moving a lot slower.
Not the story, just the episodes themselves are hitting faster. Like, time itself is passing fast. No, I feel like time's going flying by.
Dude, I barely got a new episode this week, so.
Well, that's true. I forgot about that. And you got to review the first 2 early.
So it's because I'll be honest with you, I did not like a lot of the first episode. It felt really slow. And I think I mentioned it before, but I thought it was going to be like Guardians. Not Guardians. Legends of Tomorrow. That it was going to be something kooky like that.
Yeah.
Which Legends of Tomorrow, for what it is, it accepts itself and embraces it, and then makes it fun. Almost like just a good time with these characters, in their wacky adventures. And then the other thing is, the variant is cool and all, but what I fell for specifically in episode 2 was the relationship between Hiddleston and Owen Wilson.
Yeah.
And
we got none of that in this.
And so finally, when I had settled down and said, you know what, this is going to be really good because it's Loki and Wilson.
Yeah. You
completely yank Wilson out the next episode, and you kind of expect me to settle down again with this variant.
With a new pair
And yeah, new
an
pair,
hour.
and it was like a bait and switch that I'm like, what happens next episode? It's gonna be
Yeah,
very telling.
I can
And
see that.
and then even if he goes necessarily, if you flip it again, and now he's back with Owen Wilson's character, I don't feel like there was enough developed with the variant, with the Loki variant, to say that he's necessarily would flip on her, would not help her, because at the end of the day he's still Loki, and I think he'll still do what he feels is best for himself. And it's with as many episodes as we have left, I doubt a little bit on what exactly you can accomplish, because it's such time travel is such a big world.
Yeah.
That you if you continue to time jump, you have to continuously set up new worlds.
Yeah.
And that takes time, and that takes away from, I think, what you're trying to fully accomplish.
Yeah.
So
they did have to do quite a bit of establishment of where they were, when they were, and why it was the way it was when this episode opens up.
Yeah, so I think they're really skating on thin ice here, as far as personally my attention, actually. And it sucks, because I'm all about that buddy cop feel that we developed, because we just spent 2 episodes doing that.
Yeah, and it was good too.
Right.
Really enjoyed
so,
it. Wilson is top notch in this.
So yeah, so it feels out of place. This episode felt like it was something new, something different.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what took me out of it too.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it's been a divisive episode, and you guys will be able to hear more about it later on today, as the Loki Thursdays from Marvel Multiverse Mondays podcast, Nick and I gets up onto the YouTube and our podcast network. So if you haven't hit that subscribe button, please do. And if you do like audio format, and there's also some shows that don't have any video, they're all available over there. Man, yesterday I messaged a buddy of mine about the Beast Wars thing, and he was the exact same as us. Like, he was all excited at just the initial announcement, and then as soon as he saw the synopsis, he was out. Like, nope, done, gone. It's so,
well, I mean, it's a trust thing. How many good Transformers movies has Paramount actually put out?
Yeah.
Versus, and then also the use of titles and the use of classic Transformers properties, and then you get nothing.
Yeah. Not only that, but I got into another conversation in a similar vein. Someone on a Ghostbusters group that I belonged to was complaining that Sony isn't going to release Afterlife in a streaming and the theaters setting. Like, I got it, people. Some of you guys got really comfortable with this, and you didn't like theaters to begin with. But if you did like the theaters before, get your ass out of your house and get to the damn theater safely and responsibly. But no, he was talking about, release it. It's time. It's ready, and yada yada. And another guy responded, and he's like, "Oh, they're taking extra time to work on the movie and this, that, and the other." And I was like, "You think? No, dude. Like, three pandemic films that were supposed to come out during pandemic time last year that I've seen, 4 that you've seen, because Black Widow you've got to see, I haven't. All of the Wonder Woman, Godzilla vs. Kong, Mortal Kombat, and Black Widow all suffer from things that you would have thought with a year, 6 to 8 months, a year plus in post would have fixed. And Ghostbusters Afterlife they got to take extra time. I don't think they necessarily had more time in post. They had an extended principal, I think. And then I was
Oh
like,
yeah.
I was like, do you really trust them, man? Like, where's the trust? Like, Marvel allegedly is going to let people down in some ways, not maybe massive, but bad CGI when you have that much time really sucks. Look at Wonder Woman's CGI and sound mixing. Look at terrible CGI knives in Falcon and Winter Soldier, which was had a lot of editing and reduced to it. Like, all of these things, and I just what I really think happened, and the business side of me clicked yesterday on it. The studios didn't put any extra effort in post because they didn't know how much fucking money they were going to make, how much money they were going to have, when these things would be able to start generating revenue for them. So honestly, I don't think they allowed a lot of extra post time. You know what I'm saying? Now, Wonder Woman's sound editing, that, and then regular, especially since everything's all digital these days, regular editing of just moving scenes around, some of that doesn't seem like it would be as money intensive. I don't know. What do you think, man?
It might also be that they just couldn't afford it because of that reason. Being that they didn't necessarily want too many people working on those things, and like you said, they didn't know they're gonna be able to come out because a lot of the things you mentioned also, they kept getting dates pushed back.
Yes.
So it's not like they necessarily, like for Wonder Woman, for example, they didn't necessarily have that hard December date. Mm-hmm. They had a date. So technically, they didn't have time to do it because they were going to meet that first date. And then it was pushed back, and then it was pushed back. And then by the time they made those decisions, it was too late. Like, looking back now, they probably were like, well, I mean, yeah, if we would have known that we were going to release it in December instead of October, instead of the early summer, then yeah, maybe we would have spent a little bit more time on it.
Maybe Wonder Woman 84 did have that initial 8-month pushback, and they were like, it's done, it's ready, but because of the other DC film releases, they kind of wanted to get some space from Justice League and get more happy fun stuff together, I guess. It was interesting enough when they pushed it in 2019. You're like, why? But
yeah,
that's what they decided to do. Sticking with DC and the idea of movies coming back into the norm, something popped up in the news I hadn't heard in a while, man. The Batman is going in for reshoots. It must be in trouble. The film must be in dire straits if they're doing reshoots, right? I mean, nobody ever does reshoots. Do you remember those days, like when every other outrage blog or YouTuber was, this movie's in trouble because of reshoots, this movie's in trouble because of reshoot, and you're like, dude, like, the only reason people started reporting on reshoots was on dry news days. They're normal. They're like 2-3 weeks. Now you start seeing like 6 to 8 weeks of reshoots. Yeah, now you might have some concerns, but context, locations, how many actors and actresses are coming in at different times, things like that can drag them out. But are you concerned about your precious the Batman with Robert Pattinson and it's probably very, very normal reshoots?
No, not at all. I find reshoots to be most of the time quite responsible, actually. That means that you looked at what you shot and you said, yeah, it's not going to work.
Or,
and you're
hey,
gonna go back.
this would be better, or something like that. Yeah.
So you're able to look at what you have, take some notes, make some adjustments. And if it's going to cost you a little bit more, you don't care, because you want to put out a what you believe is going to be a better film. Now, Whedon reshoots, Those are dangerous. But I mean, just look at for how long time.
Well,
Like,
there's a difference between a reshoot and a refilming of the
yeah.
movie.
Um, look at like Ant-Man and how much like they had to go back and like all of this. God damn, that movie felt like it was in pre-production, production, and post-production forever. And I was like, this movie's going to be terrible. And then it turned out to be one of my favorite Marvel Studios movies, and it really, for me, redeemed Paul Rudd, because before that I actually didn't like the guy.
Why
I was not
not?
a fan, man.
What did Rudd do? What did Rudd do to you, man?
He did nothing. It was all in my stubbornness.
Okay. What?
Um,
So what put you against Paul Rudd?
I don't know, man. You know what? What's that movie he did where he's kind of a jerk, and then he ends up playing Role Models? Yeah, I think it was that one. And I was like, and then I recently watched it again with my girlfriend, and I was like, that's probably right. I've seen this in the past somewhere, and it just rubbed me exactly the wrong way. But then Ant-Man, I thought it was. I was like, this is good. This is Marvel Studios at its best, where it takes one of their properties and tells a fairly simple story with that's character driven, because I completely fell for the relationship between Scott Lang and his daughter.
Yeah.
And everything he goes through to try and be the best that he can, despite the fact that he kind of screws up along the way. And then you have Michael Pena being just hilarious.
Brilliant.
So, and then also just work with Hank Pym, who played him, I can't remember, Douglas.
Michael. Yeah.
Michael Douglas. So, yeah, and then so after that, I was like, yeah, Paul Rudd and everything, absolutely, and that's why it's, I know it's weird, but yeah, I'm not worried about the Batman. I'll be worried when I watch it and it's no good. That's when I'll worry about it. But for now, I don't understand. Like, if you're questioning reshoots, especially right now, because reshoots right now can't be easy.
No.
Because you're probably still having to deal with protocols, which means that everything you're doing gets delayed, not just one thing. And then also, I know that there's a lot of various materials and products and services that are all delayed because everybody has to try, like a soft reset, and then just full on we're open again. So if it takes a little bit longer, it's going to take a little bit longer, but it's not necessarily the movie's fault. It's just a victim of its circumstances, and it'll be all right. And so what we'll judge these reshoots on the final product.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely right. That's absolutely. It's one of those things. Like I said, when news is dry, we try to look for things to that are somewhat interesting. At least if you're going to talk about the reshoots, you could then mention maybe a small bit of news that didn't catch last time, or maybe even get a little bit of a opinion put in there to try to spark some conversations with the audience, with the readers. But when it gets really, really dry and certain, creators, content makers, whatever words you want to use for bloggers, podcasters, and YouTubers, they can then take that, spin it just like a pro mass media news company can spin, and 2 weeks of reshoots turns into 4 days of stories for them about how Warner Brothers is messing up again, and Kathleen Kennedy's gonna get fired over this Star Wars thing, and I don't know.
Well, it's because that's all clickbait. It's all sensationalism about you'd rather hear about how something's failing than how something is doing well or flourishing.
And actually, I got something, because it's something you and I have talked about so many times. I actually want to bring this up right after word from our sponsors over at Grow Generation.
Grow Generation, where the pros go to grow. For all of your cultivation needs, Grow Generation has the right products, service and staff to make your grow successful. Go to www.growgeneration.com where the pros go to grow.
Okay, so remind me right where we're at. What was that topic?
Oh, we're talking about the sensationalism of reporting that something's failing.
Right. So we have talked about people needing escapism, right? And that escapism's constantly under attack. Leslie Headland or Hayland or whatever writer, creator, runner of the Acolyte. We talked about some comments she made about her writer's room. She tried to say that, Star Wars is political. George Lucas made political movies. No, he didn't. He's even out there says so himself. They're not.
It's not his fault the real world fit his story.
Exactly. And then you got these YouTubers like I don't like throwing people under the bus, but
throw all the YouTubers under the bus.
What is it? Justin Lost or something like that. He's one of the worst I've seen. I've seen only like two videos where he actually was like half responsible, and then the rest of the time it's all like I said, the clickbait, and he does the bullshit fucking thumbnails where he has like the Star Wars official Twitter and he'll Photoshop fake tweets and shit into it. So I hate that. But you said something. You said that people would rather see something fail than see something succeed, and I don't think that's it. People are escaping to a dream world for these fandoms, for these individual like outrage YouTubers, and I'm fine with it. Look, I'm not mad at you. I'm mad when you lie and shit like that, but I'm not mad at what you do. It's I could run an outrage channel on Sony. I'm sure. I'd have Xbox fans out the ass. But people want Kathleen Kennedy fired from Star Wars, right? That's like a dream for millions of fans, just like it's a dream for hundreds of thousands for her to continue on. But that's what they're doing. I think they go to these channels or these blogs, these we got it covered that just throw out water cooler talk and say, oh, this is a real rumor. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. They might know someone that works at Disneyland and heard some water cooler talk, and they are reporting on a Disney person that said something about the film, a movie, TV, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'll always give someone the benefit of the doubt and say maybe they have someone on the inside. They're just running with whatever they say. But dude, I think that's what it is. What do you think? Is that why we watch those types of channels, to live in a fantasy world where the fandom we want exists? Because fuckers keep ripping it from us.
I don't necessarily know if I agree.
I don't
with it.
mean me and you. I mean we as a society.
No,
because those channels are very popular.
I just think it's one of those cases. Same reason why you watch like America's Funniest Home Videos. You watch. You can't look away from a train wreck, and it's almost like a very selfish, egocentric thing where you enjoy watching somebody else fail because they're not doing necessarily something you want in their property, or etc. Whatever your reason is. It's just part of culture, and just look at how much like headlines people get more when they're doing something wrong than when they're actually doing something good. There's a lot of celebrities out there that do quite fantastic work around the world 24/7, but they do that one thing.
Yep.
And that is that's what you're gonna hear about. Like, I know I'm beating this like the horse thing or whatever the metaphor is, but John Cena,
beat that horse.
John Cena, for example, I think has the world record for most Make-A-Wish foundation granting wishes.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
So I think so. I'll have to look that up. Point is, while he was traveling all that time with WWE, he's also making time for kids and making it happen.
Yes, he does. Make-A-Wish Foundation, over 650 wishes granted by a single individual. Yep.
Yeah. So he does good work, with kids who looked up to him as their Hulk Hogan icon for that generation of WWE fans. But right now, what everyone's going to hyper focus on is what the mistake he made with
China.
With China, and that's what sticks out.
Yeah, and
right.
It sticks out in two ways. It sticks out to Chinese government loyalists as a affront to them, and it sticks out to us as a sign of weakness because it's like, dude, Taiwan's a fucking country. Deal with it. Like,
yeah.
Your director's Taiwanese. Like, talk about fucking backstabbing. Like, even if the director's not necessarily a fan of his homeland, maybe he backs the CCP. I don't know the specifics, but someone in his family gives a fuck, and
But you see what I'm saying? He does this one thing specifically, and it overshadows years of work that he's done. And honestly, while how bad it was that he did, because Taiwan is a country. Mm-hmm. Does that who are we really to? Yeah, hey, shame on you for doing that, but not you want to cancel and you want to don't support and blah 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 whatever. It's like I challenge a lot of people to walk into celebrity shoes and be 100% PC. It's not possible.
You can't.
You're going to make somebody upset, and thus you can write these pieces that then go everywhere, and then you get all that news, and then it's kind of like telephone. I feel too that maybe the initial story wasn't as bad as it seemed, but as it spreads, it kind of the legend grows.
Yes.
and then
absolutely.
So it's just sad because it has to do a lot with with the way that a news outlet wants to get their news out there. Like you don't have enough actual content that you're going to resort to belittling a property, a person, to try and gain readership or viewership.
Pretty much.
Because you don't have anything nice. You don't have anything nice to say. You're just going to bash on people, because technically it doesn't even have to be fact, because that's your opinion and it's your channel, so you can say whatever you want.
Yeah. I mean, look, I always like to make the jokes. When I'm upset at something, like say a poor business practice. It's not poor because it's illegal. Maybe not even poor because it's totally unethical. Just poor because there's a better way to do it. You know what I'm saying? But I'll still be like, but the capitalist pig in me fucking loves this idea. Fuck yeah, cut that corner, make that money. And but there's a balance, and one thing about balance is being consistent. Like I always do my best. Like I said, all these sites that run with outrage stories or clickbait or whatever, I do try to give them the benefit of the doubt until proven otherwise. But as soon as otherwise is proven, or you straight up lie, you do some bullshit photoshopping on tweets and things like that, like that's it. Like you're garbage to me. Like, be gone. Like I can't back that, and I'll call it out at every opportunity. However, I fully support your right to do it. Make that fucking money. I wish I had no conscience to lie to people like that and make money. Instead, I gotta make money with a conscience, which sucks. It really fucking does. Just imagine, Manny, if you could just tell that voice in the back of your head to shut up.
Yeah.
Shut up. No, you don't need to get involved this time. You don't need to help. Oh man. Anyway.
Yeah, and then it's just very divisive, because then, if we've learned anything from the last couple of years, is that if it's on the internet, people are going to believe it.
Yes. Very true and very scary.
No one's going to fact check it. And then when some of these sites started fact checking, people started complaining that they were censoring, that they only wanted a certain agenda's propaganda on certain pages. And then what makes it worse is that algorithms, if you're clicking on something, it's going to give you more of that. So you think that the whole world's agreeing with you, when in fact, these algorithms are just showing you a slice of the pie that you want to see.
Yeah. I mean, that and not only, I mean, we do have deep platforming. We do have people that are legitimately not consequences, but legitimately canceled, where their whole lives are ruined over crap, you know? And it's unfortunate that happens, but that echo chamber that you're just talking about, that idea of someone, the way you, like you said, all of our algorithms work a certain way. Every band that I look up, I'll get recommendations for similar bands and merchandise. Every anime I look up, that studio or that genre of anime, I'll start getting recommendations or things from, you know, similar anime creators or that same creator. All of that adds up, and your politics too. Like, look, I hate to tell you guys this. The internet is way more aware of how biased each and every freaking major media outlet is. And trust us, all of the major ones are biased, with the majority here and some here, but still biased. The internet's aware of that, and they're going to send you the ones that you seem to like. And they're going to send you the outrage stories against the ones you don't like, because that's going to get you to stay on the page more and see the ads more and make that money, Google.
Yeah, and it doesn't help also that a lot of times you have like-minded friends. Mm-hmm. I'm lucky enough where I take the points I see, and I don't have a left agenda or right agenda. I have a Manny agenda. Yeah. So if that point benefits me, that's what we're doing. Yeah. If that point over here benefits me and my family, that's what we're doing.
Yeah, I mean, that's
and it's my right to choose, right? I'm not just going to stay on one side of an argument because I feel so strongly about it. But then the thing is that so the algorithm chooses what we watch, and then you have a lot of times you end up with like-minded friends because it's just your bubble, right? You sometimes hang out with like-minded people, and that's not the case with me, but I've seen it before. But the reason I bring it up is because then people delete each other because you don't agree with me, and I'm going to delete you. So you actually instead of having a conversation about something, you just don't address the issue, and you tighten your circle, and all you see continuously is I'm right. And then so it's like if enough people are on the internet saying the Batman reshoots means they are in trouble and everybody's talking about it, then more people at the same time are like, oh yeah, then that must be true then because everyone's saying it. Yeah. But it's sad because overall and this is entertainment, politics, and everything in general, nobody takes responsibility for what they say. Everyone just really blurts out their thoughts, and it's because you're able to hide behind a keyboard.
Yeah.
These aren't a lot of times. These aren't ideas. Sometimes that you burst out in conversation, or that you can actually, with an educated mind, defend.
Yeah.
Okay, so like, why is this in trouble? What did you hear that
makes you think
that makes
Batman.
you think?
Yeah.
So a perfect example, actually, for like an argument of, yeah, that might be in trouble. Bringing and again, this is a bad example, so we can bring it up. Justice League, bringing back Henry Cavill as he's working on Mission Impossible, but it being so necessary to CGI his face.
Yes.
And that you're doing that. That's how much you're doing it. That's a perfect example of, okay, something's wrong. Because you're going to reshoot, and you're going to CGI one of the title characters' faces. And so that's a red flag.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
And that's something that tangible that you can see that's actually happening.
And be like, okay, hey, this is bad. And then, like I said, whenever it's an extended reshoot that's not connected to, hey, we had to go back to Europe and Australia, like we had no choice, like script supervisor fucked up these key shots, or I'm just messing around, but like those can be extended, but it's not necessarily 6 weeks of reshooting. It's 6 weeks of scheduled time, probably 2 weeks here and like 3 weeks over there with a week in between or whatever,
Yeah, it could also be that they're shooting, yeah, like you said, 1 week, and then the actor has to fly away and then come back 2 weeks later, but you have to book the set, and you have to
book the time. So
yeah,
that's why, and it's a nice way to bring it all back around that I can remember. I mean, I've been reading entertainment news since AOL days, old forums and things like that, and I've been reading LRM since 2012 myself, and other sites I'm not going to mention. I don't give away free advertising. No, I'm joking. But the one thing is it was just like out of the blue one day, these reports on reshoots, and it wasn't even a big deal. I think it was maybe 12, 13, that era, like the early teens, and it started off just, hey, this movie's undergoing 2 weeks of reshoots to fill out action sequences, or this is going through 2 weeks of reshoots to add to this character's the side character's screen time or something like that, and then it's slowly morphed into, oh no, why do they need more action sequences? Why do they need more screen time for the side character after having all of these successful movies that they had reported on in the past? So basically what we're saying is, don't freak out anymore. Movies are coming back. We're going to start being able to report more on productions. And guess what? The word reshoots is coming back, people.
Also, well, yeah, and I think also, in my opinion, expect a lot of reshoots, because of the fact that a lot of these things that started back up, we're doing it under certain protocols, and as great of a job as everyone's been doing, and everyone who I've been talking to, they all praise the safety and the care that everybody took on set, a la Tom Cruise. We've seen how passionate he was about it.
Mask, but passionate.
I think that you only got to shoot certain things, and now that everything's kind of opening back up and you're allowed to have a little bit more freedom and not wearing masks and things like that, that you're going to see a lot of directors and production teams go, yeah, for when we shot it was fine, but now we can make it better.
And now that they know they've got money coming in, that
Mhm.
resources are flowing again, you might see some more relaxation and willingness to spend on the films that were already in the can. So, man, what a great way to tie it all together today.
Yeah, and then dude, I went to the theater last night, a Wednesday night. Theater was about half full, man. I was very, very surprised at how many people we went to go watch the Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard 2
Oh,
on 40X, and there was a lot of people in there. I was very, very happy. So I think that if you think that more people are gonna want streaming, you're probably wrong. People want to get out there. They want to enjoy their
yes.
movies on the big screen.
Oh,
And
everything's so busy around. Dude, fast food places are busy out the ass too.
yeah, fast food, fine, dining, just regular your kind of sit down restaurants. There's one chain called Lazy Dog, that, Jesus, dude, to get a reservation you better call 2 or 3 days, and it's not even the most like exuberant place or whatever, but it's actually it's just like middle of the road, actually, just like Applebee's, and then there's another tier above it, just above it. But yeah, it's hard to find a spot there. Barbecue places I know in Fresno and things like that. Yard House is always popping.
I did not know that Yard House was a what do you call it? A chain. We have one
Oh yeah,
out here, and it was really good. Like we went to it for lunch one time, and
it's fun.
yeah.
It's middle of the road food. Good. It's good selection of beer. And why are we plugging in Yard House? Like, what the
I
hell?
don't know. I just got done saying I don't give out free advertisement. Shit.
I'm gonna go play this clip next time I go and say, can I get that yardstick, please? Like,
Oh man,
I need it. But all to say that, just like when you read a piece, check the source. And if it's not sourced, you just maybe question it, because
at least look at the track record for things on leaks and stuff like that. It's not hard to find.
Yeah, and I beg other news sites also to do the same before they post a story, because
check us.
I mean, no, absolutely, but I do know that we, whatever, it's us. I can plug us, and I can say we're the best site in the damn
telling
world.
people to check us. If
we're
wrong, let us know.
I know that there's a lot of pieces sometimes that will privately in the Slack conversation. It's like, should we post or should we not post, because it doesn't feel right. And so instead of getting those extra clicks just because somebody else wrote it, we'll just omit it altogether, which I think is a way more responsible thing. And I appreciate that more than just, oh, it's on this other side, I'm going to put it up too.
Hey, look, having a good, what's the word? Reputation. Having a good reputation doesn't necessarily make a crap ton of money super fast, but in the long run, you'll have that staying power, and you'll be around longer than the people that make a bunch of money but burn everything behind them and can't sustain it. So, but anyways, on that note, let's start closing things out. And since we're live and it's easy, I can share some screens here. LRMonline.com every day, all your entertainment news, needs, and opinions. Look at this: Indiana Jones, the show that you're watching right now. We've got comic book stuff, interviews, things dealing with Space Jam. Oh my God, Scarlett Johansson's gonna make the Tower of Terror movie. Not laughing at her. I like Scarlett Johansson. I don't know if she's ever produced anything. I'm sure she's probably like an EP on Black Widow, but a Tower of Terror movie, like, that was already based on like a Twilight Zone thing, wasn't it?
No, I think it just had the voice of the Twilight Zone.
Oh, okay.
Not necessarily that it was a Twilight Zone thing, but I know that it I think it has had like a TV movie before. And then my issue is if this is such a beloved ride, then why'd you replace it with Guardians of the Galaxy?
With Guardians,
and then you want to make a ride or a movie.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, Tower of Terror seems like it should be a little bit darker, and I don't think Disney has the ability to be darker.
Yeah.
And like it's just gonna end up being lukewarm at best. So whatever. But hey,
Yeah.
they did it with Pirates of the Caribbean and hit a home run. They struck out with Tomorrowland, and now I have no doubt that Jungle Cruise will be a lot of fun because it's Emily Blunt and The Rock. What else do you want? You could put them anywhere. That's gonna be a good time.
Yeah, I agree. So on top of the website, guys, we have our awesome YouTube channel. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and join us here for a lot of freaking content. Interviews, live shows, not live if you're watching this on repeat, but yeah, our podcasts go up here, the Daily COG, Anime-Versal Reviews, we've got the Cantina, all that good stuff going on, and we also have all these amazing interviews. Oh my, I can't even go over everyone that we've gotten, including huge names like Robert Duvall and John DiMaggio, and just so much great stuff. And of course, all the podcasts available on the Genreverse Podcast Network. Yes, it's going through some branding growth and expansion, but this is still LRM online. And yeah, all these wonderful things there. Follow us, Spotify, SoundCloud, Google, all that great stuff for free. Yeah, we don't charge you anything extra. You just gotta, occasionally watch an ad. Anyways, you guys can see these social media information down below. If you can't, because you're listening on audio on repeat, I'm at that Kyle Malone on Twitter. He's at LRM_Emmanuel on Twitter. Manny, any cool interviews coming up in the near future?
Always got cool stuff in the near future. Right now, actually, more than anything, I'd suggest really focusing on what Gig's doing, because he's handling this year's Tribeca Festival, film festival. he has quite the list of people that he's been working on and working really hard on that. So I suggest really checking out some of the people he has, some of the films that he's covered, because some of those films will probably be coming back and covering again just because of when they're finally released in the theater or something like that. Yeah. It'll be quote unquote big. So just watch out for that. But as I mentioned before, just the range of interviews that we have, from horror to Nickelodeon to Disney to action films and everything in between, it's all there, and it's all not necessarily straight up talk. Sometimes it's just a really good conversation. Mm-hmm. I know that sometimes, and this is going to sound a little selfish, but I use these interviews really for me to be able to talk to some of the people I look up to, and so it means a lot more to me than just a piece of news. It's more
shocking abuse of authority.
Hey,
I've never done that.
Yeah, the Joker said if you good at something, never do it for free.
There you go.
Capitalist pig.
There we go. I love it, Manny. And we love hearing from you guys and doing this. So thank you for everyone that does support us, and we hope more of you will choose to do so by sharing us with your friends and family. Other than that, guys, we're out of here. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.